ready for? I'm your host for the Bomb Shelter, Jay Ramone. My co-host tonight is Kevin Ramone. In case you haven't figured out yet, or if you actually listened to the last show, where there's a subtle hint drop.
Where I spoil every single
Of course,
episode.
every one of them. Today we watched the classic 1979's Rock and Roll High School.
It's 1980. Welcome to Rock and Roll High School.
Rock and Roll High School?
Do you want to stand there and hold my hand? Tell me, baby, if you'll never stand.
I am Miss Togar, and I am the new principal of this school. And who are you?
I'm Riff Randall, rock and roller.
The only girl I ever dream about at night is Riff.
Term wanted Riff, but Riff wanted to live a rock and roll fantasy to the music of her favorite group. The hottest band this side of the Iron Curtain, the Ramones!
You have managed to upset the entire school with this godforsaken noise.
Things sure have changed since we got kicked out of high school.
They tried to stop their music, but the kids got wrecked and rocked the school.
Rock, rock, rock and roll high school, 'cause that's not where I wanna be. Rock, rock, rock and roll high school.
Rock and Roll High School, the school where the students rule. Could your school be next?
And there you have it, the trailer for Rock and Roll High School, featuring two of my favorite things, the Ramones
And High School?
bad movies.
Oh, okay.
High School wasn't horrible,
Yeah.
but I like bad movies better than High School.
Me too.
So, we got us a movie.
Yeah.
We got us a movie
Movie on Blu-ray.
on Blu-ray.
Looks
That's right.
and sounds great.
Yeah, and it just shows the 70s was a very ugly
Yeah.
time in our history.
Yeah. I always wonder with some of these. Well, I mean, the 70s isn't really that old when you're thinking about movies,
Well,
but
especially
but you're
since
thinking
we were
like
born then.
if you're seeing it on Blu-ray, you may be seeing it in higher quality than the
Anyone
movie
ever saw it
Yeah, the
before.
movie came out and it was on a nice brand new screen, and it probably looks better now on my Blu-ray than it ever did for any
Yeah.
person that ever saw it before.
Yeah, we'll get into it more, but I mean,
Yeah.
there were things that I noticed. I'm like, wow, that probably wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened had they known how high def it was going to be one
Yes,
day.
or things like Joey Ramone never had braces.
Joey Ramone looks like he repeatedly smashed his face into a wall.
Yeah,
Love you, Joey Ramone.
yeah, we like him though.
We love you. So, Rock and Roll High School, directed by the one and only Roger Corman.
Yeah,
I don't know if this was an AIP movie. I don't
know.
think it was, because I don't think they were around by 79. I think they'd finally
probably so.
folded. It's the movie about teenage rebellion
Yeah,
and good old-fashioned rock and roll.
yeah.
We have our star of the movie, PJ Souls, who many people remember from Halloween.
Yep.
And she plays Riff Randall,
Yeah.
the rebellious rock and roll rebel.
Yeah.
I guess rebellious and rebel would kind of be
Kind of the same thing. If you're a rebel, if you're a rebellious rebel, does that mean you're just like a regular use?
Well, you're more rebellious.
Or does it
than
mean the
regular
opposite?
rebel.
It's like
Does it
it's like
cancel each other out?
-1 plus regular one.
Don't-
Now
don't-
you're
don't
zero.
math on me.
Yeah, math.
Don't math
Plus,
on
I
me.
had alcohol.
Yeah. Kevin's hopped up on pineapple
Pineapple.
cider, and
Yeah.
I'm hopped up on root beer.
Regular root
that
beer.
keeps foaming up for some reason.
Yeah. Also, we're recording from a different location.
Yes, we're at
So-
the super secret mountain lair of
Yes.
the bomb shelter.
We have no idea if there will be a different sound, maybe an echo,
Maybe
or
cars going by.
but
Because apparently it's not that secret.
we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see how it sounds. There's a nice ambiance, though. So, okay, movie. We have the movie still.
We have PJ Souls.
PJ Souls as Riff Randall. We have Day, or D, I'm not sure how it was pronounced, Day Young, as her friend. We really should study these things a little more.
Yeah. It's her nerdy friend.
Kate.
Yeah, there we go.
That was her name.
Kate
yeah.
Rambeau.
Kate Rambeau. That's right. And they are students at Vince Lombardi High School.
Yep.
It's your typical 70s style. I have a gnat attacking me.
Yeah.
70s style high school. Very It's under the new directorship of the new Principal Togar.
Togar, yeah.
Who is out to make an example of Riff and her rebellious friends.
Yep.
Her rebellious rebel friends.
And Togar looks exactly what you'd imagine what some strict principal named Togar would
she
look like.
looks like something out of a Twisted Sister video.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like a principal type. I expected her to have a German accent. That was the only thing missing.
She looked like she should have a German accent.
Yeah. She looked like a Helga.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody named Helga.
Yeah.
It's the root beer talking people. And they start out, just basically the two lock horns, Riff and Togar just lock horns over the whole Ramones thing. Riff is like the Ramones' biggest fan, at least in this little town.
Yeah.
And she gets tickets. She hands them out. Everybody else gets to go, but hers get taken by Togar.
Yeah.
And she ends up winning tickets in the most unrealistic
radio contest.
calling contest I've ever seen. The Ramones play all over the place.
Yeah.
It's great. There's a lot of awesome music in this.
Yeah.
And
a lot of it's not all Ramones
even
music.
non-Ramones music. It was surprising who and how much like good music was in it.
Paul McCartney, Alice Cooper,
Todd
Devo.
Rundgren,
Todd
Devo.
Rundgren,
No, I remember seeing Peter Frampton's name, but he didn't play it.
yeah.
It
But yeah,
was
just
great.
that sound. I mean, I don't know if costs was different back then to use music or what it was, but I don't think this was a super high budget movie. But
No, if Roger
somehow-
Corman's attached to it, there was no budget whatsoever. So yeah, it was because the movie starts off with not a Ramones song, but a Paul McCartney and Wings song.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, am I hearing this right?
Yeah, I know.
Which there is this Paul McCartney connection to the Ramones. We'll get into later.
Okay.
At any rate, hijinks ensue. Togar tries to come down. It's basically a long-form Twisted Sister video.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the school blows up in the end.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
That's
So
pretty
there
much
you
the
go.
plot.
That was pretty much the plot. That was the whole
plot,
movie.
The movie is not about plot. It's about music
It's
and,
about
and
seeing the
goofiness. Again, basically seeing the Ramones play.
Which was all sorts of awesome.
Yeah.
So, oops. I'm recording from a cup.
We lost one of our mic stands. So we
Yeah.
have a mic stand. I have a mic stand and Jay has a cup.
I have a cup. So if I sound
a
like
mic
I'm
sitting
in a
in it.
cup, that's because I am in a cup.
Yep.
So there we go. So there we go. Thanks for listening.
Two podcasters, one cup.
No,
Okay.
never say that again. Please never say that again. I don't want to explain that one.
Yeah.
So okay. So what else? We got the movie.
Yeah, we should tell a few more people that are in the movie probably.
Yeah, probably help.
I mean, the plot is really, like we said, the plot's kind of nonsense. You got some, not like huge stars, but you got some well-known people.
How do I turn this on?
Yeah. We've got Clint Howard.
Oh my word! How could I
Yeah.
forget Clint Howard?
And what is his name? He's Mr.
He was Bauer, Eagle
Bauer,
Eagle
yeah.
Bauer, and he runs.
Yep.
He apparently graduated several years before, like a decade or two before, and he runs a business out of the boys' bathroom.
Yeah, he hangs out in there and gives advice for money and sets people on dates and whatever
stuff,
else.
and is really gross.
Kind of the male lead of it, besides the Ramones, is Vincent Van Patten, playing a guy named Tom Roberts.
Yeah. Now, before we go too much further, the back of the DVD, it tells who's in the movie, and then it gives movies they were in. I don't think I've seen any of these people in anything other than this, other than PJ Souls.
And Clint Howard, of course.
Yeah.
He's in everything.
Apparently, PJ Souls in Halloween. Vince Van Patten was in Hell Night.
Yeah.
Clint Howard says Grand Theft Auto. When was this made?
Yeah.
Day Young in Spaceballs. I don't know what she played in Spaceballs.
I don't know either.
Mary Woronov.
That's
Death Race 2000.
Togar, right?
That's probably Togar.
Yeah.
Dick Miller was in Piranha.
Dick Miller is the police chief. You only see him right at the end
he's
for
a
like
that
a
guy.
minute. He's
That's
one of those
right.
that
He's a
guys.
that guy.
Yeah.
How did he get billing on this?
I don't know. Yeah, he's way up on the billing for
it's-
not being in the movie
for
for
being
like
in the last 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And Paul Bartel.
he's Mr. McGree.
He was the teacher.
Yeah,
Okay,
the music teacher.
cool teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be kind of fair, most of these movies, at least now, the adults in the movies are always, stiff and and dull and everything, and ooh, rock and roll, it's evil.
Yeah.
And there were actually 2 teachers that were kind of like, it's just music.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anyone.
I mean, they weren't like, cool or anything, but they were
Yeah.
just like, I don't like it, but it's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
And he was one of them. And then the PE teacher, who I can't remember her name, but
I don't either. She's not in it that much. Her name was Coach Steroid, apparently.
Steroid. No, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember that. Oh, because we did have the 2 evil henchmen for Togar.
So Togar has 2 like student henchmen
Fritz
that are
Hansel and Fritz Gretel.
Fritz.
They're dressed up in hall monitor outfits. They look like they've been out of school for probably about 5-10 years, and they're in hall monitor outfits. And she sends them out to deliver messages or to just do henchman-y type stuff. But they take great pleasure in doing body searches of mostly the female students.
Yes.
And get into all sorts of trouble and stuff too. And one of them, I can't remember if it was Hansel or Gretel, but has a apparent huge crush on Togar and keeps writing really disturbing
letters.
disturbing letters about her. It's really weird. The whole movie is kind of just you can tell it's pretty low budget, except for the music. The acting is pretty much. I doubt there was a script.
Yeah.
The Ramones themselves really should have stuck to just singing.
They're
which
better
they
at
did.
music.
Yes, better at music than they were at acting, because there was that one part where I don't know what Joey said.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was supposed to be he had a mouthful of wheat germ, which it was a joke in the movie.
Yeah.
Or what, but he's just
He's a little hard to understand anyway, but it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. And most of their lines were pretty much one line.
One sentence.
One single sentence,
Yeah.
Maybe a comma at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't really. Dee Dee brought the pizza, so he had a line.
Yeah.
Tommy had a line that he stumbled and stammered over. It's like 4 words. Johnny had a little more on the ball, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they gave him a little more, and then Joey, you just barely understand.
Yeah. But you know, I'm like, we may get into this a little bit more later, but I'm glad that they're not. It wouldn't be Ramone of them to be good actors. It's so neat that they weren't good actors.
Yeah, because
I love that.
that's kind of how that was kind of their whole
their authentic
style.
Yeah.
They were, it was like, we don't play music we're not accomplished musicians.
Yeah.
They weren't bad, but
Yeah.
we're not accomplished musicians. We are not good looking.
Yeah.
We are, our style is very basic.
Yeah.
Our music is stripped down. So awesome, cool.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't even. It wasn't like they were hired and they were like, yeah, this will be our big break into movies.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a, we'll pay you in pizza, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. But it's a really, I mean, the movie does exactly what it intended to do, and it holds up 100%.
Yeah.
All these years later.
Yeah.
How many years later? 70.
79. That's almost 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Almost 40 years. Cheese disease.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, we're both having old man flashbacks now.
But yeah, it's a few actors you might recognize, plus the Ramones, a goofy script that, like Jay said, they probably had a general idea of what was supposed to happen, and then probably each day they kind of came up with, like, what am I actually supposed to say?
Yeah.
And
it was like, well, just make it up.
Yeah.
And they did very well.
it seems like it for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's them. For the most part, visually, very ugly movie.
Yeah.
Very horrible. 70s were awful. PJ Souls was cute, but
she's
was
perfect for
about
the
it.
role. She's exactly what you'd expect her to be like.
Yeah. And then Kate, she's supposed to be the bookish, best friend of the the flamboyant and bouncy Riff.
Yeah.
But they worked well. They did have good chemistry.
Yeah.
As far as friends, you could see them having been friends in kindergarten, and Riff basically going, "I like you. You're going to be my friend."
Yeah.
And they've been friends all these years.
Yeah. Definitely.
The one subplot, I'm going to get that now.
Yeah.
The one subplot in the movie is Tom Roberts, and he's supposed to be the star football
The
player,
quarterback of the
the captain, I think he said.
Oh yeah.
And he apparently has never had a date, much
Yeah.
less been near a girl.
He didn't look like he wasn't really built like a football player either.
No, he was built like the water boy, not the quarterback.
Yeah.
And he has trouble with girls. He tends to go on really strong and then talk about the weather for some reason. And so he goes to Clint Howard's character and is like, hey, help me get a date. And Clint Howard tries to hook him up with Kate.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, Riff is the girl.
He
in
likes
my
Riff.
dreams. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
aiming high. The common problem with most of us when we were in school.
Yeah.
Wow, that net is really, he brought a friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got one of them.
Yeah, I'd like to catch the other one. Fascinating listening.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, he really, really digs Riff. So Eagle Bauer, get it? Ah, yay!
got
Dead
it.
gnat. So Eagle Bauer has Tom and Kate train with each other. Quote,
yeah.
unquote.
And Kate likes Tom.
Kate likes Tom, yeah.
but Tom likes Riff.
Yeah, because she went to Eagle Bauer's office later and was like, I really want to go out with Tom. And he's
Yeah.
like, perfect,
Yeah.
okay. And there's a really awkward training sequence where Clint Howard is making out with a blow-up doll.
Blow-up
and it's
doll.
really, really disturbing, and I may never have to sleep
And
again.
one thing that's kind of neat is when Tom originally goes to Eagle Bauer for advice on who to date, he picks Kate for him. So
Yeah.
there's sort of this idea that like, hey, you guys are perfect for each other
Yeah.
from the beginning. So
But like a lot of us in high school, I mean, I remember from personal experience, it was like, oh no, you wanted, it was aim high,
Yeah.
shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
And when you usually had a girl who was like, maybe not head cheerleader, but she was really cool and cute and everything. But you just were like, oh no, I want the head cheerleader, and then you were sadly disappointed.
Yeah,
because they always went out with the
Joey Ramone.
football captain. No, I look better than Joey Ramone.
Yeah. Even I look better than Joey Ramone. Sorry, Joey.
Sorry, Joey. Rest in punk, the Ramones. But
that's the subplot.
The subplot, and they wind up finally getting together at the end and finding out that they really are made for each other.
Yeah.
And Riff is still the free spirit who's
Yeah.
in love with Joey.
Yeah.
And it all works out in the end. So that's I guess there's a little bit of meat on the bone, but not a whole lot. And it's all just window dressing for Ramones songs.
Yeah. It's just so you can have something to happen between the different songs playing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because most of the songs, too, they're playing. It's not just a background song. It's something happening, like somebody might be playing a record, or something, and for the most part, you hear it.
There's a source of the music. Yeah. And I mean, they go. We mentioned before they go to this concert. Riff has written
one of the tamest concerts I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Having gone to a couple of Ramones concerts, that was a tame Ramones concert.
So Riff, in the movie version, has actually written the song Rock and Roll High School of the Ramones, and she gives it to Joey right at the end of their concert that she goes to. And I think he says something like, if we like it, we'll come visit you, or something like that.
That was where he went, blah, 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 blah.
But so apparently they liked it because they come visit them at high school and all that. And that's where you get some of the live music again.
Yeah. They come to the high school the next day, and they've already written Rock and Roll High School, written the music. So that tells you how difficult that was to do. And PJ Souls does sing, or well, her character is supposed to, I don't know if it was her singing.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
It was really bad.
Yep.
But it was still pretty cool. But she somehow manages to slip him a note at the concert and then get her song to him. And then, they come and they take over the school and play mini concert, and it's just all sorts of cool. Yeah. And you really do get a good chunk of a concert because when they play, and I'll go more into this later, but when they played, I mean, there was no banter.
Yeah.
There was no, play Blitzkrieg Bob and go, hey, Southern California, we're the Ramones. We're glad to be, we're back. Glad to be back in town.
Yeah, this
blah,
next
blah, blah.
song is one we wrote, here and there. And
it was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And their songs are all really short. So, I mean, in 10 minutes, you can hear 5
the
songs.
whole of the first Ramones record is about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's one long buzzsaw, except for the one song, that kind of drags "I Want to Be Your Boyfriend," and it's on this. We'll get into that more later.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get, what do they play? They play Blitzkrieg Bop, Palisade Park.
They do Pinhead.
They do Pinhead. And they did Teenage Lobotomy, because that one has the words.
Yeah.
DMUB.
That was awesome.
So they do 4 or 5 songs. I mean, like a little mini concert in the middle of the movie, and it takes like 5 minutes.
And it's part of the movie, because they're, part of the movie is that they go to this concert, and when they go to the concert, then you see a concert.
But it's not like some movies where they have a live concert, and it's like, they play the first few bars of the first opening of the song,
and then something happens.
Yeah, and then it's like later.
Yeah.
And they're walking out, they're like, oh, isn't it great when they played this and that?
You basically just see a concert, a portion of a concert.
Yeah, and it was just really cool. So, fun movie.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else we got on this. The Blu-ray, like I said, is like really, really super sharp, super clear. You get to see just how unattractive the band members were.
Yep.
Because they were not an attractive group.
Yeah, Riff says at one point she likes Joey because he's tall and handsome.
Yeah.
And we both at the same time said, well, you're half right. Because he is very tall. I don't remember how tall, but he's tall.
Was really tall.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that was a little that kind of pulled me away with just because how clear it was like when they were doing and this is so petty of me, when they were doing the PE scene and Kate is climbing the rope. And they show up close, and like her arms are like way hairy.
Oh, I know.
Like,
I noticed that too. I didn't say anything at the time.
I know. It was like, whoa.
But I'm like, did she? I mean, obviously, she wasn't of the idea of like, I don't shave at all. Like, you mean her armpits, right?
No. Her forearms.
Oh, her armpits
were like
also were
Wookiees.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
I didn't
too.
notice your
But her
armpits.
armpits were like, I mean, if you don't want to shave your armpits, don't. But she clearly does. But it seemed like she forgot or didn't get a chance to for a few days or something.
I didn't notice that. I was distracted by the forearm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes Blu-ray is not your friend.
Yep.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll High School, at least the movie part.
Yeah.
Shall we look at maybe taking a break here?
Let's take a break here, but I would like to say that at the end of the movie, Screamin' Steve, who we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh yes,
he's the
DJ.
The DJ that kind of like, he's not really in the beginning of the movie, but he kind of comes in towards the middle, and he's sort of a character.
He's kind of like the
almost a narrator within the movie.
Well, he's kind of like the woman DJ in Warriors, where she keeps telling basically what's going on and where they're at.
Yeah. But
she's the DJ, you know, and then she's not there with them. And so he kind of, he's almost kind of like the Greek chorus kind of thing, where he's telling you what's going on or helping you along with what's going on.
Yeah.
And he actually seems to feel kind of sorry for them when Riff and Kate get shut out of seeing the guys rehearsing and stuff. He was like, oh, come on.
But yeah, at the end he says basically like, as we told you, spoiler alert, the school explodes, and at the end he says something like, if you'd like this to happen at your high school,
which probably wouldn't go over too well today.
Yeah, but that's true.
Just
different world.
Look me up in the book. I'm in the book.
Yeah.
Under Screamin'.
Yeah.
And he's
and
really
in the
weird.
end.
And I think his name is Don Steele, and I think he was a DJ. He was a real DJ, the real Don Steele.
He seems like he is.
He was on K-Earth for the longest time, which
local
L.A. Well, it was an oldies station. Now they play 80s music, so it's no longer an oldies station.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was him.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, we'll take a little break here, and then we'll come back and probably talk a little more about the Ramones as a band and our experience and what our thoughts probably.
Yeah.
All right,
sounds like a plan.
We'll be right back.
Gabba gabba hey.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Take that, copyright infringement. And hey ho, we're back.
Yep.
We're talking about the band featuring John Cummings, Jeffrey Hyman, Douglas Colvin, and Thomas Erdely.
Yep.
I've never been able to pronounce his last name. Better known as Johnny, Joey, Dee Dee, and Tommy Ramone.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Good thing. Yeah, I was gonna say good thing they did that.
Because, man, I'd butcher Tommy's last name every time. A little bit about the band. They were founded in 1974. They'd all played in a variety of bands, but Dee Dee and Johnny played in a band, knew each other, and they recruited Joey.
Yeah.
And Joey was the drummer initially.
That's right. I was gonna say I think he was the drummer.
Yeah, which I cannot imagine him sitting behind a drum kit.
What would that drum kit
Just
look like?
legs.
Yeah,
just
an
that's all it'd
octopus.
be.
Yeah.
A giraffe sitting back
Yeah.
there. And Dee Dee was going to be on guitar and sing, and Johnny on guitar also. Which, if you know the Ramones, Joey was lead singer, Johnny guitarist, Dee Dee bassist, original bassist,
Yeah.
and Tommy the original drummer.
Yeah.
And at some point they got Tommy, and Tommy was actually going to be the manager. And I guess he did better. If I remember correctly, he was basically the only one who could keep time.
Yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, we need a drummer who can actually
He was
keep
better
time.
at drums than the drummer.
Yeah, pretty much. And so they shifted personnel around a little bit. They took their name from, and this is the connection with Paul McCartney and Wings. Paul McCartney used the pseudonym Paul Ramon, or Paul Ramon, R-A-M-O-N, when he was with the Silver Beatles, which I'm not terribly familiar with them, if it was a precursor or what. But I think he used it as a pseudonym when they would, go to hotels and stuff.
Yeah,
too. He would
yeah.
use that. And Dee Dee was the first one to start calling himself Dee Dee Ramone. And
Yeah.
they talked the rest of them into, let's all call ourselves the Ramones.
Yeah.
And then they took on, the persona and got the look, which is funny in the movie. Riff is like, oops, I hit the cup. She didn't say that. But Riff is like, oh, and isn't it great that they're all brothers and they
Yeah.
play together? Wouldn't it be great to be a sister in the Ramones? It's like, well, I got news for you, Riff.
Yeah.
None of them are related. But yeah, they got together and the rest was history. They recorded their first record, released it in '76.
Yeah.
I was telling Kevin I'd heard an anecdotal story from a DJ. He said he received the record when it first came out and he hated it.
Yeah.
But he played it. He was going to play Blitzkrieg Bop, apparently. And if you know the Ramones' first record, there are no breaks. Everything is just the song ends, next song starts. Song
Yeah.
ends, starts, song start. And he said he couldn't stop the record because he couldn't get a break and lift the arm quick enough. So it played 15 minutes because he just couldn't stop it. But people loved it.
Yeah.
They absolutely flipped over it. And it was my first Ramones tape.
Yeah.
A friend of mine in high school, her name was Suzanne. She introduced me to them. I was just like, I'd heard of them, but sadly, and this might take some of my cred away, I always confused them with the Romantics, and basically just because of the name. But I guess the Romantics kind of dressed up in they had like leather jackets and stuff, but they weren't near as cool as the Ramones.
Yeah.
And she let me borrow the tape, and I kind of tried to just keep it.
Yeah.
But she did finally go, can I get my tape back? Because I had it for like a year.
Wow.
And after that, I bought it 3 more times because I wore it out twice.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, tape was threadbare.
Yeah.
And it's one of those you just put on, you play, and with the exception of I Want to Be Your Boyfriend,
Yeah.
you just let it rip. What about you?
I don't remember exactly when I didn't number one, I'm slightly younger than you, but number two, I wasn't able to listen to, I don't know if able is the right word, but I didn't listen to quote unquote popular music until a little bit later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like kind of restrictions on music, I guess.
Oh.
But once I got into music, I started trying everything, and I think at some point someone said, "Oh, you like some heavy metal? What about punk?" So I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Who can I listen to? Ramones. That was the first thing that came up. So,
Yeah.
but I don't remember what I bought of them first, but I immediately really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And it was, I think we talked about this a little bit before, or right when we were watching the movie tonight, but the Ramones are not, like when I first heard about punk, what it was supposed to be, and then I heard the Ramones, I thought, well, that's not what I expected.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Like,
Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not Black Flags. They weren't punk. Well, they're a little punk,
Little.
but yeah, just like raw rip your face off and put a safety pin in your
Yeah,
cheek.
and they're real. I mean, obviously, there's different kinds of punk, but my first experience of punk was the Ramones, and it was not what I was expecting.
Well, punk is actually, when you look at all the bands who are considered punk, like
Yeah.
the Pistols and the Clash and the Ramones, they all played different types of music.
Yeah.
Because punk was more supposed to be the attitude,
Yeah.
not the actual sound.
Yeah.
So that's why the Clash could get away with doing reggae
Yeah.
or kind of almost a ska beat sometimes.
Yeah,
And the Pistols none of them actually knew how to play. They just all kind of grabbed their instruments and just tore it up.
Yeah.
And the Ramones were pretty much the same way, except for Tommy, really. But yeah, when I think of punk, yeah, I think of the Ramones, but yeah, it's definitely not what you would expect.
yeah,
If all you ever had to see was, your school saying, "Don't listen to this. It's evil."
yep,
You know?
definitely.
And in case you hear the pitter patter little paws, Agatha
It's
is
a-
walking across our.
Kitty walking across the table.
Yeah.
She's freaked out about something, but I don't know what.
Well, we are in the mountains. It could be a Bigfoot,
A bear, a Bigfoot. Hopefully not a bionic Bigfoot.
which of course all of our shows come back around to us being terrified of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So there you go. Bigfoot made an
No
appearance.
matter what movie we're doing, somehow Bigfoot and specifically bionic Bigfoot.
I think bionic Bigfoot should just be our mascot.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of the bomb shelter logo and just put bionic Bigfoot.
Giant Bigfoot. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot different than I expected. Even lyrically, it was just more. It's like nothing really that bad. Like
Well-
nothing you couldn't your parents couldn't hear. Almost,
Yeah, by their own admission, they loved bubblegum pop.
Yeah.
From the 60s and the 50s, the doo-wop stuff.
Yeah.
And
You can definitely see that in their music.
yeah,
too.
you can hear. I mean, they do.
They do some of the covers too.
Yeah, some of the covers. I mean, Let's Dance, Palisades Park. Just different. They just punked it up. Just
Yeah.
Threw some distortion on it and
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4
little
at the
bit faster,
beginning
yeah.
and faster. But if you strip it down, it sounds like the Beach Boys. It
Yeah.
sounds like bubblegum.
Yep.
And it's just fun.
Yeah.
You just throw it on and it goes, and it pretty much sounds like a buzzsaw running in the background, but
Yep.
it's great. I
Yep.
love it.
Me too. So you've actually been to 2 of their concerts, right?
2 of their concerts. My second concert I went to ever, in the same weekend, actually. I saw Depeche Mode on the Violator tour, and then the Ramones. I don't think they were backing anything. I think they just were.
They just were
Well,
touring.
they were on it was called Escape from New York, and it was the Ramones, Debbie Harry, and Tom Tom Club. And actually, it was Tom Tom Club is Tina Weymouth and Chris. Oh, what's his last name from Talking Heads, the drummer?
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, I can't remember your last name. But Jerry Harrison, the keyboardist for Talking Heads, came out, and so I saw 3/4 of Talking Heads.
Yeah.
David Byrne didn't.
He wasn't
grace
there.
us with his presence. But the Ramones, I think they came out second. I think Debbie Harry headlined. They took turn. They rotated.
Yeah.
And I remember I went with my friend Suzanne, the one who introduced me to the Ramones.
Huh.
And we had really good seats. We're only 12th row back and just a little off to the side. So really good seats.
Yeah.
Irvine Meadows. It was just an amazing place to see shows. And these hippies of all people, and I am talking the girl could braid her pit hair.
Yeah.
Hippie. Stinky, smelly patchouli.
They weren't
Well,
just beyond costumes for the concert or something.
They
lived
weren't
it.
just like hipsters. No,
Yeah.
I know they had a VW microbus in the parking lot. And Tom Tom Club comes on, and they start doing the hippie dance with
Yeah.
the hands over the head
Yeah.
and the rhythmically moving and stuff. And they were 2 rows ahead of us. And the guys in front of us, they tapped the hippie dude on the shoulder and like, would you mind trading places with us? Oh, yeah, man, no problem. So then they're right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on. And so we put up with it, and then they left for the Ramones. It was awesome. They left.
Good. Perfect.
Nobody in front of us. And then they came back for Debbie.
How would you hippie dance to the Ramones? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they were hippie dancing Tom Tom Club, but there's probably a little bit of herbal things going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just went out there, and then we went out to the parking lot, and my car wouldn't start.
Oh.
And it's a long way from Irvine to San Bernardino.
That is far.
Yeah, but I finally got the car to start, so
Good.
happy ending. But the funny, and then I saw him again, in I think '93, and I saw him with House of Pain, and House of Pain could not get their equipment set up. It was at the Palladium in Hollywood, and it's a small-ish venue.
Yeah.
The crowd was not happy with House of Pain, and they're trying to get their turntables going because that's all they had. And people started, "You suck, you suck," and they're like, "Well, you suck, you suck," and just screaming at each other. And they finally, I think they played a "Jump Around," or
What is their? I was trying to think. What is their song?
"Jump Around," jump. Is that the name of it?
I'm getting that and the crisscross jump song mixed up now.
No, not crisscross.
Not crisscross.
I can verify it was not crisscross.
Good.
I think that was the only thing they played, and then they left the stage and they booed them off.
Yeah.
And then the Ramones come out, and it was the exact same show, exact same set
as
all
all
3
those,
years ago,
yeah,
as 3 years prior.
Yeah.
I mean, they would come out to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
And there'd be the stage was covered in smoke, which Irvine Meadows was an amphitheater, it was big.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of smoke there. Palladium, not as big.
Yeah.
It's a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
and then they come out, there's like a Klieg light behind them, and they're in silhouette. And they come out and they, "Hey, we're the Ramones. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then there it goes,
just a barrage. And it was just amazing.
That's neat.
And it was great, except, man, the Palladium was hot.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a leather jacket. And
It's always hot there.
oh, it was miserable as we were in the balcony. It was so hot. But yeah, I did get to see them talk, and they were great. It was, like I said, it was the same show both times, but it's the Ramones, and they don't sound much different live than they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know if that was possible, but
Yeah.
and when I saw them too, I saw them because there were some lineup changes over the years.
Yeah. Mostly drummers, right?
Mostly drummers. In fact, I don't know why I didn't mention it. In this movie, Tommy is not the drummer. Tommy had already left the band, although he did go on to produce. He produced and I think he still had writing credits on some of the songs. Marky was the drummer in this, and man, he did not look the same. I thought it was Richie at first, because Richie came after, and then Elvis.
Yeah.
And then Marky came back. Elvis didn't even, I don't know that he recorded with them, but they dropped him. It was Clem Burke from Blondie. And he couldn't play the drums fast enough. He couldn't keep time. They're just like, "Oh, yeah, you're too slow." So he booted out of the Ramones for playing too slow.
Wow.
And then Marky came back, and he looked a lot different. And I think it's because I always see him with sunglasses, but they all looked various stages of stoned or wasted in the movie. But then Dee Dee left in '89 to pursue a ill-fated rap career as King D. But he still wrote with the band. I found out later. I thought it was kind of an acrimonious split.
Yeah.
But he actually still wrote with the band.
Okay.
And Tommy went on he produced Bon Jovi's first record and lots of other really famous records. So, and that was because he was going to be their manager at first, and I think he liked the business.
He liked that part better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than the drumming, even though he was a good drummer.
Yeah.
And then when Dee Dee left, then CJ came in on bass.
Okay.
And he was actually considerably younger than the rest of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he was born when the band started, when they were first started. So when I saw him with Marky and CJ.
Okay.
Both times. So, but they still sounded great.
Yeah.
They were just an amazing band to see live.
Yeah.
I was in a band.
Yeah.
When I was in the service around that time. I was in the Air Force. I played bass in the band, and we played a lot of Ramones stuff because the Ramones are really easy to learn.
They're easy to play, right?
They're really easy to play.
What was your band's name?
we never got.
You
to
never
that
had
point.
one? Yeah.
We practiced a lot, and we were going to. We actually got invited to play a party,
Wow.
and our singer Chris, who sadly passed away last year, but he at the last minute was like, I can't do this. And he was the most outgoing of all of us. He would just get up and run around and just be insane.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Why didn't he?
He was like, I can't.
Wow.
I can't sing in front of everybody.
Wow.
I was going to wear sunglasses because I was nervous too. But we had our songs down pretty well. We played Ramones, Nirvana, or some Lemonhead, some Clash.
Yeah.
A lot of early 90s stuff and a lot of, like I said, a lot of Ramones, easy punk stuff. But yeah, I was just going to wear my sunglasses and not look at anybody. So that was my brush with fame.
Wow.
And recently I picked up my bass again and started trying to remember some of the songs, and some of them are easier to remember than others. But for the most part, it's fun music to listen to and fun to play. Yeah. Because it's just fast and you just buzz through it. And
yeah. I play guitar a little bit, and I should probably learn how to play a Ramones song,
I'll show
I guess.
you, and then we could play bass and guitar at least.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So let's see.
So I can say one thing that I thought about it before, but watching this movie, it really came to the forefront again. Is I love how the Ramones are just the Ramones. Like I'm not saying that there's no showmanship at all.
Yeah,
but it seems really minimal with them. So like in this movie, they're not
very stripped down.
Yeah. They're not great actors, and I'm so glad they're not great actors because I want them just to be the Ramones bumbling their way through a movie because that's what they should be. And I like that, I like that their lyrics they're not
There's
bad,
nothing deep.
but there's nothing deep to most of them. There's not that often like a deep message or anything like that. Every once in a while there's a song like that, but
I mean, for the most part, you could tell who wrote a song.
Yeah.
If it was just fluff about girls, it was usually Joey or Johnny.
Yeah.
If it was about drugs, it was Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Or if it was something a little deeper, it was usually Dee Dee.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part,
I like that.
You got what you see was what you get.
Yeah.
And
I like that they weren't. They weren't good-looking guys, and it didn't look like they thought, "Hey, we're not good-looking guys. Let's do this so we look a little bit better." It's like they didn't care. They just.
that was one of the funniest parts about the movie was how much Riff was just in love with all of them, and especially Joey,
who is out of the four, he's definitely the least attractive.
Of the ugliest band in the world, he's the least. Yeah. It's like saying, "What's the cutest Backstreet Boy?" I don't know, but I know the ugliest Ramone.
Yeah. But yeah, I just really like that about them, and they just I'm not by any means like I don't have like encyclopedic knowledge of the band, but I just really have always appreciated how they just are what they are. There's not really a lot of showmanship. They're not trying to give a message, like you said earlier. There's no like banter between songs.
Yeah.
They just come out and play their thing. And
I mean, the concert was just pretty much one nonstop buzz. The whole time.
And I was also thinking, there's that. Maybe I know you've seen it, but I'm talking to
our
two
audience,
the two people that listen to us. There's that really hilarious Simpsons clip where the Ramones, the cartoon Ramones come out and play Happy Birthday.
They liked us.
But I just was thinking like they translate into a cartoon so easily because they're almost like living cartoons.
They were like living cartoons. Yeah.
I really like that.
I love that. That is one of my probably all-time favorite Simpsons scenes. Have the Rolling Stones killed? But sir, do as I say.
I just want to say this gig sucks.
Up yours, Springfield.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But I just when I watched that, not necessarily preparing for this podcast, but just I was looking things up and I thought, oh yeah, that funny thing from The Simpsons. I watched it. I
actually have it with my Ramones music on my MP3 player.
Yeah,
I listen to it all the time.
But I just was like, as I watched them, like that a cartoon typically takes something and does like a simplified version of it because you don't want to do something too complex.
But they didn't look much different.
They look
than
pretty
in real
much
life.
like that, and
just a little yellower.
And I like that. And I know that they're all real. They're real people. They have
Yeah.
real feelings and families and all this. But I just love how
They were just game for it.
yeah
you
they
know?
just were what they were.
They
I
even
really-
did the Spider-Man theme.
Yeah, they did the Spider-Man theme.
And it's so cool. I
know.
love it. It's like, yeah.
And you know
I
why?
could see you guys doing it.
Again, I'm not like I don't know all the trivia on the Ramones, but you know why they probably did it? Because they probably loved that show growing up.
Yeah.
and they liked the song.
They probably
That's
just
why.
like, yeah, we used to watch the Spider-Man cartoon. All right, let's
Let's
do
do the song. Yeah,
'Cause I think it was a compilation of different bands doing cartoon
Yeah.
themes. And yeah, they're just it's perfect.
yeah.
And it
Like
just
who else could do that song?
I know, and
Yeah.
it just sounds great.
Yeah.
It just yeah, you can't say enough good about the Ramones. But yeah, you talk about them being very stripped down, and that was their intention.
Yeah.
Because at the time everything was prog rock was getting big,
Yeah.
which now we sound really old, or I do at least.
Yeah.
But you had Yes playing 12-minute long songs,
Yeah.
and Zeppelin playing 7-minute long songs with these gigantic solos. And I
Yeah.
love both those bands, and
Yeah.
I love that music. But the Ramones were just like, we're sick of Elton John.
Yeah.
we just want to have a fast
Let's have a 2-minute
Yeah.
or less
or less
length-
song,
Yeah.
and just have fun with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom.
Yep.
And you've got 8 songs, I think, in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the last 3 songs all are together.
Yeah.
They're not even a pseudo break. It's like you got Do You Want to Dance? And then it's da, 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 and then crap, I know these songs. I'm learning them.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next song just boom starts right up.
Yeah.
But they're totally different songs. It's not like it's a medley and they go.
Yeah.
But it's just like song boom, song boom, song boom.
Yeah.
And it could just be one song at the end. I can
Yeah.
see where that DJ was just like, oh, screw it, I can't
Yeah.
stop this thing. But that was just who they were.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we're the Ramones. This
Yeah.
is what we do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my favorite thing from any Motorhead concert was, and Motorhead were huge Ramones fans.
Yeah.
They did
That makes
the
sense.
song called Ramones. They did a song about them. But Lemmy would come out there and he'd just come out and go, we are Motorhead, we play rock and roll. And then boom, just rip into it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And that was the Ramones. We're the Ramones. This is Rockaway Beach. Boom.
Yeah.
And just go right into it. And 2 hours later, you're just like, wow, that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It sounded like one long song, but it was great.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think the movie Rock and Roll High School, I think it's the perfect movie. I mean, if the Ramones are going to be in a movie, what better? Like a simple plot, goofiness, just like
you didn't
hijinks.
want Phantom of the Park.
Yeah.
You didn't want Rattle and Hum. You didn't
Yeah.
want a concert movie.
Yeah.
You just want the Ramones coming in and just being the Ramones.
They're for some reason they're part of this little high school world for a couple days. And
Yeah.
then, yeah.
And then that was it. And apparently, you were saying that the people in the movie were like, we don't even know who they are really.
Yeah, like some of the other fellow actors, they may have known who the Ramones were, but they weren't necessarily fans. They didn't really know their songs.
Yeah.
And now, on the special features on the Blu-ray, they were talking about like all these years later, they're like, wow, they're like an extremely iconic band. Like it's such an honor to have been.
Never really sold a lot of records.
Yeah.
Never really.
Yeah, they're all dead now, but
Well, the originals.
the originals, yeah.
Well, and it never really sold a lot of records. Never really got as big as U2,
Yeah.
Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, but everybody knows them.
Yeah.
You say the Ramones, and be, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Even if
And-
they couldn't tell you one of their songs.
Yeah, and then 100 years from now, when you name iconic bands, you're still going to name the Ramones. Mm-hmm. And they have their net worth, I sure, is nothing close to any of these other bands we mentioned. But yeah.
But
So
it's not really fair to compare them to other bands.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, U2. U2 are they can be pretentious.
Yeah.
I love U2.
Yeah.
But they're a message band.
Yeah.
So when you listen to their music, you're listening to the meaning.
Yeah, what are they talking
behind
about in
it.
this song? Yeah.
and Aerosmith is more of a, you know, girls and booze,
Yeah.
you know, kind of band and stuff. And so they're not the same, but
Yeah.
they're just, I don't know. The Ramones they're one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah.
Top 3
Wow.
easily.
Yeah.
And just they were who they were. They're kind of like the Replacements.
Yeah.
The Replacements, when I saw them, the story always was, or the joke always was, you didn't know who was showing up to play.
Yeah.
If it was a good night, it was the Replacements. If it was a bad night, it was the Placemats. I saw the Placemats. They were all totally blitzed, and this was in Redlands at the Greek Theater there at the university, and they were totally blitzed. The guitarist disappeared at one point behind the stack and played from behind the stack. You couldn't see him. The drummer, I think, wasn't Chris Mars. It was, I can't remember who the last drummer was, but he hadn't been with them very long, and it was right before they totally self-destructed. And he'd start a song, and Paul Westerberg would go, wait a minute, the drummer effed it up again.
Yeah.
Start over. And I mean, in the middle of the concert.
Yeah.
And so they were a great band, and they're one of my favorites too. But yeah, you never knew who played, but they were who they were.
Yeah.
And didn't care. And the Ramones, I think they cared enough. They had an image they knew, but they were just like, you see what you get.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's really, I really admire that, because I don't think there's a lot of bands that a lot of bands would follow. Well, what's going to get us some more money or more fame? And I don't think they really went for that. They just kind of said, "This is what we are, and people like it. Good.
Yeah,
let's just keep doing it."
I mean, I get listening to, because I grew up with all sorts of music, but in the '80s it was metal. It was a lot of hair metal, and once Guns N' Roses came out with Patience, everybody had a power ballad. And it was like everybody had to put one out. And the Ramones did some ballads. But they were horrible. Because it just wasn't what you wanted to hear. But yeah, they didn't, like you said, a lot of bands now, it's like, okay, what's going to be our next big hit? And they never had a radio hit. You hear their music in Stephen King movies and Rock and Roll High School. That's about it. But other than that, but they seemed pretty happy. Well, not with each other. They hated each other.
They didn't like each other. But...
Joey and Johnny famously hated each other's guts. And neither did anything to help that out. Apparently, Johnny was a staunch conservative and Joey was very liberal. And being Jewish, Joey being Jewish, Johnny would make all sorts of horrible jokes about the Holocaust and things. But they did have some friction because there was a girlfriend stolen between the two of them, and so they just never. But they still put out a good music.
They stayed with the band the entire time. So well, let's wrap this thing up. Let's finish off maybe with
Good, Bad,
and Ugly. Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean,
good. The Ramones.
The Ramones were good. The movie is good. It's a good movie for what it was.
I've been looking forward to seeing it.
Me too.
Since the reason we decided, I probably should have said this at the beginning. The reason we decided is it's September. Normally that's when school starts. So hey, Rock and Roll High School. So that's why we went with this. But we've had this plan for months. And I've been just absolutely looking forward to seeing this.
And I got the Blu-ray I think a couple months ago, and I've been kind of like, I don't want to watch it yet because I need to watch it with Jay the first time. I don't want to have like preconceived ideas.
Oh, hey, watch this part. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really good. It's good for what it is. It's a lowish budget movie that's stupid and fun and funny and really good music.
Just good fun.
It's exactly what it should be.
And the music it's kind of the equivalent of the old Beach Blanket movies. And just fun. Just seeing them play again was great. So to me, that was not just good. That was awesome.
Yes.
Bad. Joey Ramone's teeth.
Yeah, Joey Ramone's teeth. But oh well. You know what? If his teeth were perfect, then he wouldn't have been Joey Ramone. So
that's true.
It's one of those things again where it's like I don't want him to.
He was kind of mush mouth with those teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Okay. I'll give him that.
You're trying to debate with Ugly, right?
Yeah. And Ugly is pretty. Yeah. 70s fashion. Yes, it's very, very hideous. There was a lot of hideousness going on around there.
Clint Howard is not a handsome
Oh,
man.
my
Let
word.
me say that.
Oh my
And he's
word.
fairly young. I mean, obviously compared to now, he's fairly
He
young.
looked like a troll in the movie.
Yeah, he's
it was
not a good-looking
scary.
guy.
No, not
I've
at
heard
all.
he's a really nice guy, though. Like,
Oh, yeah,
in regular life,
yeah.
I heard he's like a great guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's too full. I think he
Yeah.
knows his limitations.
Yeah, he's like the Ramones of acting.
He's the Ramones of the Howard family.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no pretension there. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not a good-looking man. I'm never
Yeah.
going to be leading man material.
Yeah.
So Ron, get me a part.
Yeah.
You know. So there we go. The Ramones,
Rock and roll. high
PJ
school.
Souls, Rock and Roll High School.
Rock and roll high school.
And on that note,
I think we'll say good night.
and gabba gabba hey.
I'd just like to say this gig sucks.